how's it going, everybody? This is T-Bone here, and welcome back to our weekly featured Mythic units. This week, I've decided to try something a little bit different, a unit that I don't think gets used by a lot of people, and that is the PhD, which is the Mythic version of the researcher and scientist. So the PhD, a lifetime of study has brought the PhD here to slow and weaken zombies in the end days. Greatly weakens nearby zombies, affects multiple zombies at once, has no attack and low health, so keep her safe. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a fight in Manila Insane right now, and kind of talk about the setup I've chosen. So basically, what I've decided to do is to showcase her perks, and one of the things that she does is to weaken the actual weaken the armor, so it decreases the target armor amount. So I think with that, my gunner units would actually be able to penetrate the armor of the apocalypse. So what I will do is place my ballista and my gunslingers in here, and then I'm going to place my deforester and my healers on the same path. And as you can see, I also picked a perk that increases the range for the PhD. So what she'll do is she'll decrease the damage, and also make it so that I better place quick. So let's put it right here, and I need to support quick. All right, and then put my good. There you go. All right, and so with a researcher, what you can do is basically, use her as a support to weaken the zombies. So this one, well, the first thing is all PhDs and all the units that researchers, scientists, what they have by default is they make it so that the deployment time is reduced. Not the deployment time. The cooldown time for the units are decreased, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. And so what that allows you to do is to get more attacks in before the attacks actually happen. So let me explain what I mean by that. So let's take a look at the perk. Now, I don't have a PhD, but I do have a scientist. So I will use her perks there to explain uh, what I mean. So first, I picked the following perks. For level 10, I picked Ataxia, which increases target miss rate by 10%. Osteogenesis, which decreases the target armor by 35%. And airborne pathogens, which increases the area effect by 40%. Now, this is what I picked. And I think that for level 50 perk, either of these two were actually pretty good. The other one, Lethargy, which decreases the target movement speed by 30%. So that means any zombies that walk within that red radius will be slowed down by 30%. It's the same kind of effect as the Spec Ops. When they shoot, they can also slow down the units by 30%. And it's effective for the large zombies, so you can slow them down and you can attack them while they're slowed down. What I would recommend you not choose uh, is for level 10, the damage, the area of effect damage. From a damage perspective, I think it's just too low to really do anything. I don't even think that this damage can kill the drones. So it's much better for you to just pick the other perk, which increases the chances of the zombies missing your units. The other one is, for level 30, I chose to decrease the target armor by 35% because I was hoping that maybe by decreasing the armor of a unit like the Apocalypse, your other units like a gunslinger or a hacker might have a chance of penetrating the armor and damaging it. I didn't see that happen with my gunslinger, but I think I saw that with my ballista. The other option that could have been okay is also decreasing the target damage by 15%. So this one, if you're dealing with zombies that can deal really really high damage, like a ninja, for example, this could help you increase the chance of your survival if you paired up the unit with, if it goes up against like a tank. And I think the punks are also high damage, so decreasing the damage can help you out. Now, the mythic units typically have better stats than the legendary counterpart. So I believe that means the armor decrease is a little higher. I could be wrong. I'll have to take a look at the stats. But so that's the scientist, and her deployment cooldown is not too bad. At level 30, at level 29, which is before the second deployment cooldown, it it's at 35 seconds, so I think it's going to go down to 30 seconds at level 40. And with a mythic unit, it usually is another 2 seconds. So I believe at level 50, PhD will have a deploying cooldown of 28 seconds or so. Not too bad. And what you want to look at is the increased target cooldown. So at level 29, Scientist has a 157% increase, which means if a unit it's basically 1.5 percent, right? So if a unit used to take, let's see, 2 seconds to between attacks, you've now increased it by 50% or another second. So it now takes 3 seconds before its next attack, which can be a big deal. Depending on the unit and also depending on the situation. So I think this can be helpful if you treat her like a support unit. She's not going to be able to obviously solo any missions or anything. Now, just for fun, let's try doing this in Dubai. I do have to change my units a little bit. I have my setup. So the first four I'm going to keep the same, and I'll kind of also use this opportunity to show you how to set up for a Dubai raid using units at around level 30s or so. So what you want to definitely do is make sure that you get some sniper units, and I would think that I'm just going to go all sniper for this. So go ahead and do Bushwick. So I have two types of snipers here, the Lone Wolf and the Dead Shot, which allows me to attack the mutated zombies, and then the Bushwick, which helps me attack the larger zombies. And so I'm going to keep the PhD, and now let's see the map. So one of the tricks that I think you can do is to pair up your, I'll show you what you can do here. You pair up your tanks with a gunner and a surgeon or a sawbones. So what that does is the spacing. So let's move them here so you can see. So that the sawbones will always line up behind the gunner, who is going to line up behind the tank. And so when the explosive units come, they'll hit the tank first, and it might kill the gunner, but it will not affect the sawbones, and therefore she can then revive. You know, oops, I think I wanted to put one of those PhD here. So the surgeon can actually revive the units. So I think this is actually okay. So she's also standing behind the ballista. So I think okay, I do have enough space there. So now all the zombies are gonna come towards the tank, and so this is why you want to make sure you have a lot of snipers, because um, you want them to take care of those big zombies and those pesty, spitters and whatnot on the side. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and place more in here, and unfortunately my guys moved out of the way, so the formation was off. And let's see. All right, so the Sawbones is busy reviving my guy, and unfortunately she did die. Uh-oh. There you go. So let's bring back let's slow it down a little bit just to see what's going on here. Let's bring the ballista here, and I got my deforester waiting there, and let's have a combat medic heal, and then what I didn't do well enough there is protect my guys when I had a pretty good setup until my all of my healer units moved to the other side because the zombies were coming from the other end. And if that hadn't happened, I think I would have been okay. So now we can go back and speed up now that I'm okay. And really, what's really difficult is if you leave that single Undertaker and you don't kill him early, he's just gonna go and keep reviving the units. And when that happens, it's gonna become really difficult for you to beat the level. So what I did there was, I used the scientist, in this case the PhD. I mean, I think it could have helped, but Dubai is really one of those raids where you have to deal with explosives, and having a PhD isn't going to help a whole lot. But I think that if you use her in other cities, I think it should be pretty effective. I actually like the increase in the area and forcing all of the units to be a little slower in their attacks, pairing her up with a tank and a gunner unit worked pretty well. I think seeing the zombies getting weakened and allowing your units to attack them better. So give her a try. I think she could be fun. She's not as bad as you think. A lot of people don't like the scientist units. They're not bad. Lever them up and play with them and hope you have fun. So that's all for this week. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.